Alright YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Financial Charles back at it again with another video. So my last video I was talking about how you can make up to $2,000 a week passively with compound interest with cryptocurrency. And today I wanted to make another cryptocurrency video because it is 90% of my portfolio, and maybe in the future I'll make a video about why my portfolio is now 90% crypto. I used to be 90% stocks a while back, like a couple years ago, but over the past year and a half, it's moved all the way to crypto. So in this video, I wanted to talk about why selling my Bitcoin was the worst decision I ever made in my whole entire life. And hopefully you guys can learn a lesson from this too. So if you enjoy the video, just make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe. And without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into the video. All right, so basically I've been buying Bitcoin ever since 2018. The very first time I bought Bitcoin, I was a senior in high school, and I actually bought the top of the 2017 bull run. I bought it at about $15,000, and the top for that bull run was about $19,000. And I didn't know anything about investing back then. I wasn't a long-term investor. I was working at Target as a cashier, earning minimum wage, and I was the type of person to receive a $700 paycheck and see it as an opportunity to spend $700. I wasn't very educated when I was in high school about finances, but ever since I moved to college, my first year of college, my mom gave me 2 financial books. You guys probably already know this from my previous videos, but she gave me the book Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin, and also the little book of Common Sense Investing by, what was this dude's name? John Bogle. He's the founder of Vanguard, and reading those 2 books really changed the way I see money, and that's what really got me to start investing at 18 years old. But with that being said, my very first investment that I ever made wasn't even a stock, it was Bitcoin in 2018. I didn't buy my first stock until, I would say, June of 2018, later that year. And it wasn't until 2019 that I really started to seriously dollar cost average on the regular. But I didn't know much about Bitcoin. I didn't know any of the technology behind it or anything. I just knew that one of my friends had it, and we were talking about it, how it blew up all the way to $4,000. And by the time I bought it, it was about $15,000, and then it went downhill ever since then, as you can see on the Bitcoin charts. And then I paper handed it as soon as I got to college around August, and I sold it for about $6,000. And I only bought $40 of it at the time, but you know, it kind of sucks to lose $25 regardless, but I don't even mind losing that $25 looking back at it, because it was a really valuable lesson. And I learned pretty much that selling your Bitcoin is probably the biggest opportunity cost that you will probably ever see in your whole entire life. Even for the people that bought Bitcoin at $600 and they sold at $4,000, they would have been better off holding onto it. They would have more than 10x from there. So if you think about, let's say you had one Bitcoin that you bought at $600 and then you sold it at $4,000. That's about a couple $1,000s of profit. But the alternative to that is, you know, holding on to it until $60,000 and then selling it. So the opportunity cost is way too high. Sure, you profited a couple $1,000s, but the opportunity cost is you missed out on tens of thousands of dollars. You missed out on over $50,000 in that scenario. So this isn't the only time I've sold Bitcoin either. I've been dollar cost averaging since 2019, and I really haven't sold anything except when the pandemic hit. I actually bought $500 worth at $4,500, which is a great buying point, and I just wish I had held on to it. I sold that at about $10,000, which it's more than double my return, which on paper sounds great, but the opportunity cost is I just sold it at $10,000 instead of $60,000. So, you know, the opportunity cost is 6x. And with that being said, Bitcoin is limited to 21 million the whole entire time. You can't add more Bitcoin into the system, but you can always lose Bitcoin permanently. So the currency is always deflating, making the remaining supply more and more valuable over time. So what happened right now, Bitcoin is at $66,000 around, or probably around $63,000. And if you were to sell your Bitcoin now, the opportunity cost would be double, because when Bitcoin hits $120,000, you missed out on a 2x opportunity because you decided to take the profits now instead of later. Even with this recent bull run, I've still been buying the whole entire 2020 and the whole entire 2021, but there were times where I did have to sell some at the most unfavorable times because I didn't have enough cash on hand to pay for an emergency expense. So just make sure you always have enough cash for an emergency expense. But the idea of me, let's say I needed an extra $100 for XYZ, and I sell $100 worth of Bitcoin at $40,000. And I actually did this. I spent I sold $100 of Bitcoin at $40,000, and that's an opportunity cost of $50 because if I held on to it until $60,000, that 100 would be $150. So I missed out on the $50 because I sold it at $40K instead of holding on to it until $60K. And another thing that you need to be careful of is trading with leverage with cryptocurrency, because that is also a huge opportunity cost. What you don't realize is when you leverage trade, you're putting yourself at risk of liquidation. And in the cryptocurrency markets, the volatility is super high. So any scamwick can liquidate your position just like that. So you got to be really careful about that. I'm not going to say that I got scamwicked out of a position, but there have been times where I had to sell at a loss and I incurred a couple $100 loss because of a bad leverage trade. So don't get into leverage trading. I think the best strategy that you can do is lump sum everything that you have into Bitcoin and dollar cost average from that point on. Every paycheck that you get, just make sure you set some aside to invest. You can even diversify your assets, put some in stocks. I've held on to Tesla stock for years now, and today it's at an all-time high. It's like at 1,077 after the stock split, but I only have 10% of my net worth in stock though. So diversify into stock, crypto, real estate if you have the capital. But really the best advice I can give you is just dollar cost average into Bitcoin frequently. You can do it weekly, monthly. I do it every day. So that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. Hopefully I convince you to never ever sell your Bitcoin, because that's going to be the biggest opportunity cost ever. Even if you sell it right now at $66,000, your opportunity cost if you sell one Bitcoin is going to be $60,000 when Bitcoin hits 120,000. So hold on to your Bitcoin for as long as you can and also earn interest on it. My last video talked about how you can earn $2,000 a week passively by holding on to your Bitcoin or lending it out on a centralized platform or a decentralized platform. There's, Aave, there's also PancakeSwap, Celsius Network, BlockFi, just to name a couple of centralized and decentralized platforms that you can earn yield on your cryptocurrency. That's pretty much all I have to say. If you do this right now, then you can guarantee yourself that you will be in a much better position in 1 year than you were today. 5 years, 10 years is going to be even crazier. So yeah, just keep on holding on to your cryptocurrency, and that's all I had to say.